Happy Sunday, Bears fans. The Bears don't play today, but trade rumors are flying around, and we're going to talk about it here on Chicago Bears Now. My name is Harrison Graham. Ian Rapoport dropping some updates, some news when it comes to the trade market last night, and he mentioned two Bears players that are garnering interest before the trade deadline, which is just over 2 weeks away. We'll talk about each of those players. Plus, take a look at a Week 7 rooting guide as the Bears are off this Sunday. But before we get to all that, go subscribe to my other YouTube channel. It's called 4 Verts. The icon's right there. That's how you'll know you're in the right place. And join us today. I'm going to go live for the first time on that channel for a Week 7 Hangout stream. We'll keep tabs on all the games. Obviously, a couple of big NFC North matchups. We got Lions and Vikings, and then the Packers take on the Texans, so we'll keep a close eye on those games. Plus everything else going on the NFL Week 7 slate for the early window. Might stay live for Chiefs-Niners, depending on how the audience is doing, so if you want us to stay live for the afternoon window as well, subscribe, join us over there. Link is in the chat or the comments of this video. We'll pin it in the comments of this video as well, so be sure to check that out. Okay, let's start with Khalil Herbert here, as he was a name that Ian Rapoport mentioned as a potential trade candidate for the Chicago Bears. He mentioned that injuries across the league have led teams to showing interest in Herbert. And look, it makes sense. He would be cheap for teams. He's a rental. He's got plenty of tread on the tires. And he's been effective as a runner through his first 3 years in the NFL. I mean, we've talked about this. He's a great number 2 back. His first 3 seasons, over 1,770 yards, 8 touchdowns, primarily as a number 2 behind David Montgomery. His first 2 years, started a little bit last year, was still productive there as well. This year, he's just been kind of phased out of the offense for whatever reason. So it's just one of these situations where, is this a Khalil Herbert doesn't fit with Shane Waldron? Are they just moving forward because DeAndre Swift has been so good and Roschon Johnson's better in short yardage, better in blitz pickup, all that stuff? There could be a lot of reasons for it, but the bottom line is, does anyone think Khalil Herbert is back on this football team next year? Because I would say that's pretty unlikely. I don't view that as a realistic possibility for the Chicago Bears. And if that's the case, if you can get something for him, I think that's at least something to consider. Now, it's also something to consider if it's very little return, like a late-round pick swap. Do you just keep him in case of injury? Backs get hurt all the time. If Swift were to go down tomorrow and Roschon's your starter, who's your number 2? Velus Jones? Travis Homer once he comes off injury? While the position feels crowded right now, you're kind of one injury away to one of your top 2 guys of feeling, okay, we could certainly use Khalil Herbert. So I don't think the Bears are just going to give him away, but I could see Poles saying, you know what, let's just take the draft pick. Let's move on from Khalil Herbert. He's not someone we're likely to re-sign this offseason unless it's going to be for the vet minimum. And it is what it is, right? Like if he was better at catching the ball, if he was better in blitz pickup, he'd have a bigger role. But once they signed DeAndre Swift, they were clearly going to ride that out, and he's got things rolling now. And Roschon is just a better utility player. Catches the ball better, blocks better, better on special teams, better on third down. It is what it is. It's not personal. It's just the reality of the situation. So I would expect Khalil Herbert to be a name that we're going to hear the next couple of weeks. Whether or not he gets traded, that remains to be seen. There was a report out there that the Vikings showed interest before they ended up pivoting to Cam Akers. If that's true, you just got to assume that Poles didn't want to trade him within the division. So that is that situation. Before we get to the second player mentioned in trade talks, do you guys want to go watch the Bears play? Do you want to go to a concert or a comedy show and get the best prices available? Well, check out our sponsor, GameTime. Last-minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed, as they are going to hook you up with tickets to any event you can imagine. Bears game, Bulls game, Blackhawks, comedy show, concerts. Usher's coming to the UFC later this month. So download the GameTime app right now and get those tickets today. Their newest feature, GameTime Picks, makes going to see your favorite teams play much easier. All you have to do is use the GameTime Picks filter, and it's going to kind of limit the ticket pool for that specific event, right? So it'll show you like price points within the venue. Like, okay, lower level, those are your higher price tickets. Mid-level, those are a little cheaper. Nosebleeds are the cheapest, and based on your kind of what you're willing to spend, you can say, okay, I'm gonna click here, figure out what seats I want. Then you'll be able to see views from the seats. Super deals might pop up, which are the best bang for your buck, and ultimately, you're going to get the last-minute tickets for the lowest prices guaranteed. That is what GameTime promises you. So download GameTime today, create an account, use our code ChatSports. It's right there to get $20 off your first purchase only. Terms do apply. That's code ChatSports, all one word, for $20 off. $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply there. Download GameTime today. What time is it? It is game time. Get off the couch and go see some events. Okay, Nate Davis, could he be on the move? Rapoport also mentioned that he's been garnering some interest. He mentioned that with 67 career starts, he could provide depth. He could start if you need him to. And I wonder if this is more from the Bears' standpoint, like they're trying to create some level of a trade market for Nate Davis, because let's be honest, the Bears are done with him. He is not in their plans. He's not even a top backup now. We saw 2 weeks ago when Tevin Jenkins got hurt, they did not slide Matt Pryor to left guard and put Nate Davis at right guard. They kept Pryor at right guard, and they put in Bill Murray at left guard, who played very well. And with Ryan Bates potentially coming back from short-term IR at some point, Nate Davis is like your fourth or fifth interior guy at this point. He's just not in your plans. He's a healthy scratch. Everybody on the planet knows he's getting cut after this year anyway. He's kind of reached the Chase Claypool status of, if you can get anything for him, just do it. Even if it's a late-round pick swap, just get him off the team. And I'm not saying he's causing issues in the locker room or anything like that. Guys seem to like him. He's just not any good, at least for this team right now. Like, he's not going to factor on the field on Sundays. So even if it's just Nate Davis in a seventh to a team for a sixth, like, just do that deal, because you're going to cut him after this year anyway. So we'll see what happens there. I wonder if this is more from the Bears standpoint, and I wonder, too, if the Bears would have to eat some salary. But, again, you're already having to pay him for this year. I'd be willing to eat some salary if you got some level of a draft compensation out of it. It just hasn't worked out. And sometimes you just have to take the L on moves. Free agency is a crapshoot. Sometimes it works great. Sometimes it doesn't work at all. Sometimes it's up and down. This one's clearly been a miss from Ryan Poles. He was a pretty good player in Tennessee. Had the family tragedy last year with his mom passing away. Gave him a pass for that. But this year still does not seem that engaged in playing football. And you just got to move on at some point. So whether they trade him now or whether they cut him after the season, he will not be a Bear in 2025. We'll see if a team is desperate enough to add him. And, hey, teams need offensive linemen, and he's got experience. All right, little Week 7 rooting guide here. Let me pull up some of the matchups this week as we get into Week 7. And, again, join our 4Vert stream here. I actually got the London game going on right now. Jags all over the Patriots, 25-10. They were down 10-0 there. I was thinking, is Doug Peterson going to get fired at halftime? But they've righted the ship there. Seahawks 3-3 at the 4-2 Falcons. I think we want Seattle to win there. You'd like the NFC South to become a one-team division in terms of just thinking big picture for the 3 wildcard spots. So I think we're in on Seattle there. Titans, Bills, Bengals, Browns, AFC games, those don't really matter. Texans at Packers, obviously, go Houston, go. I made a joke with our Texans guy in the office. I said, hey, if the Texans beat the Packers, C.J. Stroud can little bro Jordan Love after the game all he wants. Real ones know. Dolphins, Colts, doesn't matter. Lions, Vikings, I've gone back and forth on this. Lions are 4-1, Vikings are 5-0. And you guys let me know in the comments. Is it better for Detroit to win in your guys' opinion? That would mean both teams are 5-1. Or would you rather Minnesota get to 6-2 and Detroit fall back to 4-2, even with the Bears and the Packers? I could see it either way. So let me know. Do you want Detroit to win or Minnesota to win? We'll be keeping a close eye on that one on our 4Vert stream. Eagles, Giants, obviously go Giants, go. Raiders, Rams. If the Raiders beat the Rams season's basically over, so go Rams. Could the Panthers pull off a miracle and beat Jaden Daniels and the Commanders? I doubt it, but that would knock Washington back to 4-3. Chiefs, Niners. Want the Chiefs to win to knock San Francisco back to 3-4. Then we got Jets, Steelers Sunday night. Doesn't matter for the NFC playoff picture. Ravens-Bucks Monday night. We want Baltimore to win that one, knock Tampa back to 4-3. And then Chargers-Cardinals obviously want the Cardinals to lose that game as well. They would fall to 2-5. So there you go. Week 7 rooting guide for you here on Bears Now with the Bears on bye week. And be sure to subscribe and join us here in just over an hour or so, depending on when you're watching this. We'll go live 11:45, 11:50, get you ready for the 1 o'clock Eastern games, noon Central, and kind of just provide updates, hang out with all of you. So be sure to hop into the chat and hang out. And by the way, shout out to everybody who met up in Chicago. Had a blast at Sluggers. Ran into a couple of you guys in the city at TSA as well. Shout out to the guy at TSA for showing love and at the rent-a-car place as well. You guys are amazing. Support's been awesome. If you want to continue to grow this channel, obviously subscribe here as well. But we'll be live on 4 Verts here in a little bit. We will see you guys for a little Week 7 Hangout stream.